There was this one conversation that wasn't particularly flirty, and I guess the main thing to bear in mind is outcome independence. You care far less about the outcome.
Yeah, go for it, man. Take it away.
So, coming to the end of a filming session in Sao Paulo, God, it seems like so long ago now, doesn't it?
It feels like yesterday, doesn't it?
Well, it feels like yesterday, but it also feels like at the weird time warp thing of like contradiction or paradox. It feels like yesterday, but also feels like it could have been 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So anyway, there was this one conversation in Sao Paulo. It was towards the end of the session. We got out to do some filming. I was feeling tired. I was sitting on a bench outside a shop waiting for this girl to come out. And I was just quite chilled. I guess the energy was quite chilled. It's quite a funny one to watch because I'm kind of slumped against a chair, almost like missed the vodka bottle to make me full hobo in the plastic bag isn't there. But I've got everything apart from that lined up, and I'm just kind of like in this very chill vibe. And she's kind of walked past, and it wasn't particularly flirty. There wasn't anything much to the conversation. I just thought I'd keep it going for the camera. And I guess the main thing to bear in mind is, yeah, she was quite attractive, but outcome independence. Like I just didn't really. I'd done a few approaches that day, and you always find after you've gone into some social interactions, we're built to be social, you've had some fun, maybe you've got a couple of phone numbers, you care far less about the outcome, right? You're just not that bothered. And I think that was probably the key point to take away there is I could have kind of taken or leaving it, and it projects non-neediness, which is attractive, and she was, by her own admission, I think she was married or in a very serious relationship. So it wasn't going to go anywhere. But I think the reason she kept the conversation going, or we kept it going, is because she could feel this like lack of neediness, basically.
Yeah.
So it was like she could tell that I kind of wanted to speak to her, and she probably knew my intent, but she wasn't put off by it.
Hola, fala inglês? Do you have any? Estou aqui la primera vez no São Paulo.
Sim.
E eu quero.
You can speak in English.
You actually speak good English.
Yeah.
I want to just explore, go to some different places because I forget everything from 2 years ago, and I'm with some friends, and I want to.
What kind of place you want to go?
Food, drink, party, everything you can think of, and I eat anything like sushi, meat, churrascaria.
For sushi, there's one that's really good called Oka. O-H-A-A.
Oka. I'll write this down. Why is your English so good? This is very confusing.
No, I went to a British school.
Really?
Yeah.
So you speak
I don't
English?
have a British accent though, but
Yeah, hold on. I'm from London, and you definitely don't speak from like British. Oka, okay.
Oka is good. There's one called Naka.
Is this Japanese we're talking about?
Japanese, yeah. They're both very good.
Okay.
Let me see what else. If you want
Naka food.
Italian food,
Yeah.
there's one called
Bottega.
Bernaca.
Naka. Okay.
Yeah.
5 stars dollar. Okay.
What?
And you're sending me to the highest end.
No, they're very good, but I'm not sure. Do you want something in the mall? There's
No. I think if I end up eating another meal in like a shopping mall, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
I know the Brazilian culture is you come to the mall for like 10 hours, but for me it's like if something falls apart, then I go to the mall.
But you should go to. Have you gone to the Ibirapuera, the park? It's good for like having a stroll.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm staying in. It's the first time I'm staying in Pinheiros. Usually I'm in SMBB, so I know the area, but now I'm like, I have no idea.
Pinheiros.
But it's not so good area. I thought it was better. There's one place I really like called Jazz Brasserie, which is like it's like this cool vibe, cool cocktail bar.
Yes, Le Jazz is very good. I don't know, I can't think of places like must to go.
I'm still a bit surprised you can speak like fluent English because I've been here 2 days and everyone is just like, okay. Okay, and I'm like, I can speak. I used to speak Portuguese, but I spent the last 6 months in Spanish-speaking countries.
Yeah.
So now trying to switch back, it's difficult. But I want to practice. Eu quero praticar. Porque depois de São Paulo, eu vou Salvador para Carnaval, and I think no one is going to speak English, right?
Did you have like parties and everything organized?
Camarotes. Did you go before?
We're gonna have fun. Yeah.
You went to the Salvador Camarotes?
Nice.
Are they better than Rio, or are they like, what's the vibe?
Like they're different from Rio.
Like more dangerous or more like different people?
Street carnival, it's much more organized.
Oh
If you
no,
have
I have this thing, I love blocos in Rio, the craziness of the blocko.
craziness, but it's good. It's a different good, but you need to buy the shirts to be inside
To be in a blocko?
to be in the block.
This sounds far too organized. What's going on? I thought Brazil was
No,
chaos.
but the thing is, they have the block, and behind the trio elétrico, they have the organized T-shirt thing, and behind the ribbon, there's a ribbon that separates. Then it's like much more messier than Rio. Like
Really?
messy.
Oh, this is good. I like the sound of this. And the Camarochis, how do they compare?
The Camarote, they're nice, but they're like mass production, 5,000 people. Like it's a very big structure.
It's not cool.
No, it is.
But it sounds like you don't think the
It is,
Camarochis
it's
are so
like
good.
like a festival-ish thing. It's not like a private party. I don't know what
Ah.
vibe you're on.
Okay.
I
And
feel like many stages, and each stage a different DJ, and
yeah, I don't know. My friend
it's very
my
nice.
friend booked it, and I was like, okay. I've been to Rio 5 times, so I wanted to try.
yeah.
And what are you?
Try going to Naka, this restaurant. It's good. But many restaurants here in the shopping mall, although it's in the shopping, they're very good as well.
And what's the vibe for you? Like, what are you doing?
For me,
Yeah, in life.
I'm
Are you a student? You're a singer?
I'm a singer, yeah.
And are you single?
Weddings and.
And are you single?
Oh yeah. No, I have a boyfriend. Sorry.
Ah.
Yeah.
How do you say my heart is broken in Portuguese? Como você diz my heart is broken in Portuguese?
Coração quebrado.
Okay, outra vez.
Coração quebrado. Partido.
Coração quebrado. Nice to meet you.
It's a great representation of how we should be approaching those situations.
How we should be approaching all social situations.
Exactly that.
Which is you don't need anything from them.
Exactly that. But as well, when guys go out, they have this perception that every single conversation that they have has to be perfect. They have to, have a fun, flirty conversation, get the number and do this and do that. That's not what this looks like. It's a good example of just a normal conversation. Wasn't particularly flirty or extreme in any sense of the word, but just a normal conversation with another person. It really represents what this is actually about, right? Because
The reality
a lot of the time,
of what happens.
and some of the conversations that we have, girls will have boyfriends. Some of the conversations that you have, the girl's not even going to stop and talk to you. And yeah, sometimes you're going to have a conversation and they're going to be fireworks, and that's that girl that you spoke to. But I think what we do quite well through the channel is we represent honestly what it's like to do this, because a lot of the time on other channels they only show the success. They're just, oh, this was this amazing conversation. It gives you this false perception of what it's like.
Complete bullshit, man.
It's not like that.
Seduction, life, and all dating related things are extremely messy. And it's usually just a tangle of things. And like we said before on previous videos, the biggest thing you can do is show up. And just don't try and be smooth. Don't try and perfect the conversation. Put yourself in front of 20 women that you find attractive, new women each week, and just have a conversation. Sometimes there's going to be natural chemistry. You're both in this really cool, playful vibe, and there's this connection. Sometimes she's going to just really like you, and you're going to feel a bit nervous, but then suddenly you're going to feel like, oh, this is cool because she actually likes me. You can't predict what's going to happen in the conversation. You just have to go for it, right?
Yeah.
And I
embrace the imperfection.
Embrace the imperfection, embrace the anxiety of not knowing how it's going to play out. And I think a lot of guys, what they try and do is they think, right, I'm going to watch all this content so I can pre-predict every play that the girl's going to do in life.
And try and make it perfect.
And try and control it. And
that's a good
as
point.
soon as you try and control everything, it backfires because people are like, this guy's weird. He's trying to control and manipulate everything. Let go. There's a book you're reading which kind of encompasses that on a greater level as the surrender experiment.
Yeah.
It's the power of letting go from outcome.
Just accepting everything the way it is.
Yeah, being in the moment and accepting things as they play out. I'm not trying to influence them. And look, by just merely putting yourself in front of 20 women a week and showing your intent, which is try and take a phone number, you can do that and still be completely free from outcome. And you will get results if you just do that.
Well, the thing is, we always think about it like this. What you said, I think, in a previous video, which is, what would a high value guy do? He would just talk to people.
Yeah.
He wouldn't worry too much about making it perfect. He wouldn't worry too much about the outcome. He wouldn't spend hours and hours studying the perfect thing to say, although we've all been there. It's not a bad thing. It's just part of the journey, but he would just go and he would embrace it. He wouldn't worry if the conversation didn't go, You know, he doesn't
He
rely
wouldn't
on
beat
this.
himself up. It's just like a fun, it should be a fun addition to your life, not some grueling thing with like you're going into battle and it's really just distressing. It's like, no, you walk out your house, you're going to clear your head, you see a cute girl there, oh hey, you see a cute girl there, oh hey, and you get the occasional number and you go on a date. It's really that simple, isn't it?
Exactly. I think a lot of it comes from a scarcity mindset where we need to validate ourselves as well.
100%.
Where we have to try and get the number
agree.
of that one girl, and then it's the one girl that doesn't give us the number that bugs us, and then the one girl that does give us the number, or the one girl that we do go on a date with, we think to ourselves, oh, there must be something wrong with her. What the fuck? Why is she going on a date with me? It's not like that,
man.
right?
It's terrible. And
it's not like that. Have you had that before?
Man, I've literally, I look back on some of the girls I've dated, like back when I was kind of in this, just over the last 5 or 7 years, and some of them were literally the perfect match for me. And all I did was like, oh, right, I need to move on now. Yeah, what's wrong with her? She likes me, right? Forget her. I think she's obviously mentally ill liking me, right? Push her to one side. Let me go and get rejected by 20 more and feel better about it.
And actually prove the mindset that we're trying to avoid.
Terribly unhealthy mindset to have.
Well, it makes us very unhappy as well, right?
Deeply
because we're
unhappy.
filling a hole. It's not a hole, it's a black hole. It's a black void that is never satiated.
And makes you entirely unhappy.
Yeah.
You have to go through this and just be consciously aware that you can pass through that phase and then realize it didn't mean anything, but you have to go through it.
I think that's an important point though, and I think it takes a certain level of maturity to realize that that phase doesn't bring you happiness, and then you start looking for something different, and then when you start looking for something different, you start filtering everything through a different lens.
Yeah,
you
and you become more picky, you become more quote unquote high value.
That's the thing, right?
And it's more, you end up actually then meeting a girl that you genuinely vibe with.
Exactly.
And you genuinely like, and you don't see the process of her not sleeping with you or you missing out with a few different girls as a problem. You see it as, oh, she just wasn't right for me, you know?
Exactly that, yeah.
It's incredibly non-needy, incredibly honest. You're working on other areas of your life as well. And that's really the transition.
Yeah. And then when you do find that one girl, it actually, it does make you happy. When you're with that one girl, then you think, wow, this is really fulfilling.
Yeah.
Because I've seen what the other side looks like.
Yeah.
I know what the outcome of that is, and I've chosen this by choice.
Yeah.
Because I've had the option to go the other way, but I've actually done it this way. I think a lot of people get stuck in that loop.
At times you go backwards because you end up not enjoying it, so you're not actually putting in much work to it because you're not enjoying it, and then your skill set drops because you're just like, you've got there's no goal or drive to do it, and you're just going through the motions, and then girls are like, this guy's weird or this guy's not attractive because you're not there for the right reasons to connect to women on a level of beauty and like, I really want to meet people and this person's going to make my life better. You're doing it for disingenuous reasons, and women just sense it. And
it's like, a more loving mindset though as well, right?
It's a far better mindset to have, you know, this overarching kind of mindset of good. It's the Zamperium mindset, which I think there's a danger of slipping into this overly nice guy thing. So what we're not suggesting is if you are a nice guy who's getting no results and you've been trampled on by life, you're not where you want to be in dating and life, you shouldn't necessarily incorporate this mindset of like, oh, everything's all good, you know, be really nice to women. That's not what we're saying, but there's really good people out there with good personalities that are a match for you.
For sure. If you're watching this and you've been watching this for a few years, and you're actually taking action and you're actually getting results, you've probably seen a dark side of human nature.
100%, I've seen that. I've seen the darkest of darks with this. And I've been in that avenue where I look at myself in the mirror, I'm just like, you don't like who you're seeing. You're like, you become this very dark character that fucks people over and sees the worst in human nature and manipulates.
And you also see the worst in others as well.
Yeah, it's a mirror. Everything we do in life is a mirror.
And if you're not careful, then that can actually taint your view, and you only start seeing the negative. So a clear example of this would be if you've been doing this for a few years, you've probably dated girls who have had boyfriends or husbands, and then it just completely jades you as a human. You think all people are like that, but that's not actually the case at all, right? Because we're only seeing the negative in that situation, whereas actually there are a shitload of really good people. You know, there are a shitload of girls who are 100% loyal. There are a shitload of girls who will add a lot of value to your life, who will give you that soft feminine energy that aren't actually going to fuck you over. Yeah.
Most people you meet in life are not going to be your people, both male and female. Like, they're not going to be good friends of yours because you don't gel with them on a deeper level, and they're not going to be people you want to pursue in a romantic way either. You're going to find a lot of women where they're not bad people, they just don't see the world the same as you. So what you've got to do is have this lens on the world of people are just inherently good. but she's just not my person. She's not my girl for a long-term relationship or to see. You know, 7 years, I've probably met realistically 20 women or 30 women that I've really connected with on a deeper level. There's quite a lot, because most guys, what they do is they meet one person, jump into a relationship.
Yeah. I mean, most guys sleep with what, 7 to 10 girls, I think the average is, and then they marry one of those.
They bumble into someone drunk on a dance floor and then decide, right, this is going to be my life partner.
It's a terrible
Mindset.
I want to just comment on a mindset that you touched on, which is seeing everyone as being a good person.
Seeing the beauty in people.
Seeing the beauty in people. And the devil's advocate, if you're watching this, will be, well then, how do you avoid being that nice guy who just gets fucked over all the time?
It's a very good point.
Because most people will go, oh, well, I don't want to get fucked over, so therefore I'm going to view the lens through, you know, a skeptical mindset of everyone. And I think that obviously there are caveats to this, and there are different layers to this mindset. And if you are someone who is positive, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be stupid, right? That's the key distinction. You can still be extremely positive, but if you have got your head screwed on straight, if you've had a little bit of experience, then that will help you avoid getting completely fucked over while still viewing the best in people, right? So I think that's key. I
think lining up those 3 senses of intelligence, you know, that your thoughts, your mind and your gut with people is important as well. Absolutely do the best, you know, do the best you can, come at this charismatic angle of like seeing the best in people, but then also not be clouded by it. Yeah. Realize like if someone screws you around or is rude to you or takes the piss, you know, be confident enough in yourself to be like, no, that's not okay. Right? I had an example recently of a guy he's a cool guy, like I like him a lot, traveled around with him for a few months. But I just got on a deeper existential level that we're not on the same page. I don't think he sees the world with me the same as me, where I'm trying to do the best for people. I think he sees it as glass half full. When
dog eat dog.
Yeah, and there's a few instances where I ran into trouble in different scenarios, not anything serious, but just little things where I kind of would glance what he was doing, and you can see this almost like look of a bit like the influencer we see on YouTube where he's getting off on the stories of people.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's this look of like kind of like the glint in the eye, like I kind of enjoy seeing him get screwed over. And that for me, as someone that typically loves to see the best in people, because that's just how I am, I pushed it to one side a bit, but then I kind of meditated on it one day. I was like, nah, if I'm actually listening to those 3 senses of intelligence, so not just the thoughts, and not just my body intuition and my gut, that's not the kind of person I want to spend time with. When that happens 2 or 3 times in similar scenarios, you're like, no, that dude's not on my side, right? Mm-hmm. So that was a great example of that in action, and now I've cut him out. Yeah,
well, I think that's a good example of viewing the world through that lens of positivity, but not being completely naive to the same degree, you know? And I think that's a good example to demonstrate the fact that you can be positive, but not silly.
Realistic, try and live in reality as well.
Exactly.
And actually see what people are doing.
Exactly that. On that note, we've gone off on an extreme tangent as always.
They've got longer and longer, these epic biblical like waffles.
We think it's so valuable, and then we look at the YouTube algorithm.
Within 30 seconds, 30 seconds, not a single view.
The retention is like 2%.
One blue
So one of you is listening to this. So
yes,
enjoy.
Hey guys, we got a brand spanking new community, loads of new resources, loads of the old content, loads of new content, loads of fucking cool shit on there, and it's all for free. And if you want us to help you with your current situation, figure out where you're at, where you want to go, and the most painless and effective way possible to get from A to B, depending on what A to B is, book a call on the link below and we'll be in touch. It's also completely free of charge. Sayonara.